Okay, my teacher friends, today we're going to take a quick look at Google Gemini. And this video is really for those of you who've not had a chance yet to try it out. Maybe you've tried ChatGPT already, or maybe you've tried Microsoft Copilot already, or maybe you've not even heard of Google Gemini, but it's the same kind of a thing. All of those examples are chatbots. And what's cool about chatbots is that they're constructed to be very much like a conversation with another person, but you can get some pretty quick results for it. So you'll note down here, we've got this enter a prompt for Gemini. That's where we type what we want Gemini to do for us. And so I've created a little list here of some prompts that would be useful for teachers, and I'll link this in the description on this video. But let's start by having it generate 5 hands-on, low-prep activity ideas for teaching high school biology students about the structure of a DNA molecule. So I'm going to copy that. We're going to come back over to Gemini, and I'm just going to paste that in. I'm not instructing Gemini that it's going to take on the role of an instructional designer. We can do those kinds of things, and we'll talk more about that in a prompting video. This is just to get our feet wet here. So let's let it generate 5 hands-on low-prep activity ideas for teaching high school biology. Okay, edible DNA model, pipe cleaner and bead model, human DNA chain simulation, paper or cardstock DNA origami, and missing partner DNA sequence challenge. Now, I'm not a biology teacher, and so I can't really comment about if these are good activities or not, based off my experience in generating content for stuff I am a teacher of. It's very effective and probably only needs some minor tweaking, maybe, to the ideas it's come up with. Now, I want to point out now underneath where I typed that prompt, and it says your Chinook's Edge School Division chats aren't used to improve our models. And I think that that's really important that we be aware of that, because what that means is that when we put content into Gemini, Google isn't taking it. And that's because we are an educational institution. They don't use our data for the purposes of training, because we may be having children use Gemini, which we can from kindergarten all the way through. We have the authorization and the safety and privacy intact for that. So just so you know, kids can use it. Let's try another prompt. So now let's go down here. So generate a multiple choice 8 questions for a quiz on the characteristics of the 3 states of matter. Include an answer key. So let's copy that. Let's come over to Gemini. Now over here, it keeps a history of the chats, and you can't delete those. So I have a tendency each time I want to start a new topic, I take a new chat, because this one would be high school biology chat. And if I keep this pristine, I can go back later and I can have it do more things. And eventually I could have it build a test on the content as well. So since this next one is nothing to do with biology, I'm going to start a new chat again. We'll look at Banana Pro later. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to just enter that prompt for the quiz. And I'm going to hit submit. And now let's see what it gives us in terms of multiple choice questions. Now, I didn't specify if this is solid, liquid, and gas for grade 4 or for grade 12. So I may get a result that isn't quite what I was wanting. And what it's done here is it's created it into some type of a document, which really is not how I wanted this to be. I wanted to take it and copy paste it. So I can click here, try again without interactive quiz, and that should get rid of that, because I would like it to be just in the chat where I can take it and I can copy paste it into a Google Doc or into Canva to create the paper version of this test. So which state of matter is characterized by having a definite shape and a definite volume? A, B, C, or D? And as we scroll down, there we get the question number and the correct answer as well. Now I could have it format this a little bit differently, and I could say, please redo the test and make the correct answer bold for each question so that I can see the correct answer as I preview. And let's see what it does. Okay, so now it's retyping it for me, and I can see, and it's very faint, but I can see that C is bolded there, B is bolded there, C, C, B. Okay, we're not getting a lot of variation here yet. Another B, another C, another B. So it hasn't used A or D in this, so we're going to ask it to try this one more time. Okay, we'll see if it can rewrite this and ensure that A, B, C, and D are all used. If it's eliminated two of the choices, it's really taken it down from being a multiple choice test to being more of a true-false test. So let's see what we get this time, see if it can do it. Sometimes it struggles. Sometimes I manually shuffle a few things around because sometimes it gets it, but it doesn't always. So let's see, we've got C, B, A. Okay, good. We've got A, now we've got D. Okay, so it has used A, B, C, and D. So this might be the test that I want to take and copy paste into Word. Now, be a little bit of formatting to do once I paste it into Docs or into Word or into Canva, whatever program you're using for your particular task at hand. Let's try one more. Let's go down into communication and let's have it draft a parent email. I have learned in the course of pursuing my research here for my doctoral degree that this is one of the main uses that teachers have for chatbots, whether it's GPT or it's Gemini. So let's start another new chat because I want to keep each one of these separate so I can go back to them and continue to have conversation with Gemini about those topics as I revisit those. So let's have it draft a polite but firm email to parents reminding them that their child's permission slip and $10 for the field trip are due tomorrow with a link to the online payment portal. Now, it's going to have a placeholder or it's going to give something that isn't actually that link, but this gets us started. Okay, so it's creating it over here in this section off to the side that's called Canvas, and that's not necessarily how I wanted it to build this. So I can give it some further instructions here saying, please don't use Canvas, just produce the text in this chat space. And let's see if it can do that for us. Okay, so there it's giving it to me over here, and I can close this by hitting the X, and that'll just go away. So here I've got subject, urgent reminder, field trip name, so subject for the email, dear parents, guardians, friendly but important final reminder that the required permission slip and $10 payment for the upcoming field trip to blank are due tomorrow. To ensure all necessary arrangements can be finalized, we must receive both the signed permission and the payment by the end of school day tomorrow. Action required, and then all of those kinds of details that I don't need to read to you. You can read yourself. So I would take this and I would just copy paste it. You can do that by right click copy or Control C on your keyboard. And then I would grab a new Google Doc or a Gmail. If you're emailing it out, you can just open it in your Gmail, and there we go. In a document ready to go. So I'm going to call this field trip permission email, and that will save in my Google Drive. I'm good to go, ready to go with this. So let's go back and let's just look at a couple other things that we can do with this. So let's have it take this content and let's have it differentiate this. So this is high school level, like this is probably grade 12 kind of content, but not all of our kids read at that level. So let's take this and copy it. Let's come over to Gemini. We'll start another new chat and let's have it adjust the reading level of this text to be written at a grade 5 level. And then I'm just going to paste that text in, and we're going to give it a moment to make some adjustments so that somebody who reads at more of a grade 5 level can still glean some of the important information from this. So 6 reasons why World War I started. World War I, also called the Great War, started in the summer of 1914. It began right after a very important person in Austria was killed. The war lasted for more than 4 years, finally ending in 1918. Let's just compare that to what we've got here. So First World War began in summer of 1914, shortly after the assassination of Austria's Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and lasted more than 4 years, ending in 1918. So you can see that it does match. one is significantly easier to read. So for our kiddos who do struggle with reading, these chatbots are just absolutely amazing to be able to generate content that they can read, which means we're generating content then that they can actually study. A child who can't read the content in the textbook and comprehend it really can't study. And so those are just a few quick ideas for how to use a chatbot to really help you save some time. We're going to do one more because report card comments, they sound like a minor thing, but they're one of those things that really kind of gets left to the end because teachers are busy. So let's have Gemini generate a list of 25 report card comments for a student who is struggling to focus in class. And let's see what it gives us. So now we've got a whole bunch of choices. So if you've got a student who's distracted during class time, you can scroll here and find what might be the best way to phrase it. You've got a limited number of characters on a report card. You're not trying to make anybody angry. You're just trying to communicate what is actually happening in your classroom. So this is a hugely valuable tool that we can use to help us differentiate. Now I'm going to go back to the adjusting text to grade 5 level, because I want to show you how you can return to a chat and give it further instructions. I'm going to ask it now to please translate that into Ukrainian. And let's see what it gives us. It's nothing that I can read, but I could take this, and I might not put it right back into Gemini. I might take this, and I might go over to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to please translate this to English. Let's see what we get. See if it matches or is anywhere close. Oh, this looks very similar. The First World War, also called the Great War. Let's see if that matches. World War I, also called the Great War. Okay, looks like our translation's pretty good. Let's just check a couple more words. Began in the summer of 1914. Started in the summer of 1914. It started right after a very important person in Austria was killed. It began right after a very important person in Austria was killed. So my assertion from this is that the translation that Gemini can do for us is actually robust and correct. Now I could go through the whole thing if I were really actually using it. I probably would. But I just wanted to show you a few things that Gemini can do for you that can really make for some good time saving in your entirety of the practice of teaching. So hopefully this helps. If you've not used Gemini yet, please do go give it a try. I think you're going to like it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.